And that was the wrong camera. We still have not gotten our buttons fixed, have we? We'll get that done today over the weekend. Good morning. It is Friday. It is Halloween on top of that. Hope you enjoy yourself this afternoon. Kiddos are going to be knocking on your doors tonight. I think it's still a rule if you have your light on, you're still giving away candy. If your light's off, you're not. That's to the best of my knowledge of the way it used to be. Should be pretty close to that. A lot of activity still going. Is Bailey Volunteer Fire Department still doing the Scary House?
Yes.
All weekend?
Yes.
Yes, so you can still do that if you'd like to get a little spooked. Go on out and visit with them as well. I will tell you about all the activities, a lot going on in downtown Meridian tonight also. That girl will be here at 7 to tell us more about that. I hope you'll be here for that show as well. Always a lot of fun. And did I mention, well, it's just downright cold. Right now, we're sitting at 38 as you're waking up. Yeah, you heard that. Into the 30s, the first time in this fall part of the year. We've got details on the forecast and all of that and so much more. Join us, won't you? Let's go to Collinsville now and get our good word of the day. We always need that, don't we? Let's see what Brother Ben has for us today.
In Genesis 23, we read that Sarah, Abraham's wife, died at 127 years old, and Abraham wept. But notice what happens next in the text. He didn't just bury her quickly and move on. He negotiated carefully with the people of the land, insisting on paying full price for her burial plot, giving her an honorable funeral. The text records specific details: her age, the place, the transaction. This wasn't merely duty, it was deep respect for a life that mattered. Now, what made Sarah's life worth such honor at her death? I mean, she wasn't perfect. She laughed at God's promise, gave her servant to Abraham, and even mistreated Hagar. Yet Scripture remembers her as a woman of faith who obeyed her husband, hoped in God's promises, and became the mother of nations. So her life counted because she walked with God, even if it was imperfectly. Genesis 23 confronts us with this question. When we die, what will people remember? Will our lives warrant tears and honor, or will we leave behind regrets and broken relationships? The cemetery transaction here reveals character, right? Abraham's integrity, his refusal to take advantage, his desire to do things honorably, even in grief. And so we can't control whether people mourn us, but we can control how we live. Are we building relationships that matter? Are we walking with God faithfully? Are we leaving a legacy of integrity, investing in things that outlast us? Look, death comes for everyone, but a life lived for God marked by faith and character creates a legacy worth honoring that extends past us. So live today in a way that will matter tomorrow. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We did hit the right button that time. Again, we'll get that straightened out where you won't be looking at walls and ceilings and things of that nature. It is a cool morning, as we said, 38 as we wait for a high of 67 later today. The gang is all reading and getting prepared for the show. And their earrings, they've got those also. Greg will be in a moment. How many of us sit back and stare at the television screen or a news blogcast here and what's going on with all these different protests across America? Somebody every day is complaining about something. And it doesn't probably matter who the president is. There's always probably a crowd out in front of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that's angry about something. And I've noticed this about a lot of these marches where people are angry and they try to throw things and hurt people. There's a guy that was on, his comment is coming from Twitter. His name is Zach. That's all it says. That's the best credit that I can give him to who he is. And he says, the biggest threat to America isn't Hamas, Venezuelan gangs, or violent migrants. It's upper middle class, primarily white women who would love to import all the above and destroy our country within. You notice that? I've seen a lot of that. It's like you need a job. Do something creative. It's gobs of them. You don't agree with that. I see Julie over there smirking at me, but I see it every day, up and down the streets. And men that basically, I'm going to call them, they carry purses. That's what I see from my side of the room. You may see it different. Now, tomorrow, be prepared for this across America. There's going to be some issues. There's no doubt. It's going to be people planted to start, I don't want to say riots, but cause chaos because of Snapageddon. And what I mean by that is the food stamps are going to be turned off. I also saw something else this morning that caught my eye. You don't hear a lot about them. They showed up last time to vote for one of the first few times ever. And I don't know who made this. I'm going to show his picture because it just really says a lot there, doesn't it? Has a dozen children, doesn't apply for food stamps or welfare. Y'all know I'm right. They get up, they work hard every day and mind their own business. We'll see what tomorrow brings, won't we? Let's see what else is happening here. For the first time, and I ought to ask Julie about this. She probably knows more about it than me, of music charts. I don't know a lot about what's on the scene, but it says today marks the first time in 35 years in the top 40. You remember what's his name that used to do that? Casey Kasem. You remember that? For the first time in 35 years on the top 40, there are no rap songs. I don't listen to rap, so I wouldn't have known that. Julie, you're not really working out as a great studio audience over there for reactions on this.
I don't clock in until 7.
Oh, she doesn't clock in until 7. See what else we have going on this morning. We'll play that later there. We'll leave that along also. Let's see what's happening. Meta, $4 billion loss. And this all goes to shares dropped, I think, about $70. It's down to $600-something a share for Facebook. And what they've been doing is dabbling in this eyeglass recording and all these video games. It still has not made money yet. They keep saying it's going to turn around. We'll wait and see if you've got stock in that. Let's see what else we have going on here. Did y'all realize the Los Angeles Lakers was being sold? And if I'm not mistaken on this, Odie, you may know more than me. Didn't someone pass away and it got left to the family, and they've decided to sell it?
In basketball?
Yeah, is that right?
Even spell basketball.
Well, it's being. You would if you knew this. $10 billion. The Los Angeles Lakers are being sold for. Oh, boy, yeah, that's a lot of cash there. So that's what we know about that. So what was that about? That was someone hurt. Let's see here. Whoopi Goldberg announcing that someone will appear on The View to, let's see here. Marjorie Taylor Greene is going on The View. I don't even know what to think. And what's going on with Marjorie lately? She's not exactly a Trump supporter anymore, is she? Isn't she going against the grain? It's something going on there. No, she was like a major Trump supporter. When it wasn't cool to be a Trump supporter, she was. Now she's going against the grain, and she will be on the View. What will she say? I'm unsure. We'll see what happens there. This is a Trump move, although it's not Trump. As we go to Louisiana, Governor Jeff Landy says, not on my watch anymore. How many million did they have to pay out to LSU's coach? 40-something million?
I thought it was a little bit more than that.
It could have been. It was millions upon millions. He says the Attorney General will go over that contract of the new one, and the athletic director at LSU will not be choosing who the coach is. They have. These contracts, as they got into this, and I read on all this, is the guy that finds the coach for them makes a commission, and he also writes the contract. So he's going to make money either way. And they say not anymore. That's not the way it will work. A lot of money goes out on this football stuff, doesn't it? $54 million is what Bob said.
$54 million.
$54 million payout. He still had 6 years remaining on the contract. I don't know. There's so much money made off of football, and it's never put back into the academic side of a school, is it? It always goes back into the somebody's making money, and, well, the taxpayer, shouldn't that I'm just thinking out loud here. All this money that's made off football should go back into the school to where it would help kids get an education that were there instead of the taxpayer paying for. Oh, that makes too much sense, doesn't it? I better hush. I'll get run off. Let's see what else we've got here. J.D. Vance, we showed a couple of clips there. That was a big deal at Ole Miss as the Vice President of the United States took Charlie Kirk's place on stage there. His wife was there. It was a big event. Lots of people are still talking about what went on there. Let's see here. J.D. Vance's answer to an immigration question. This is, and I'll read you what he said. There's too many people who want to come in. My job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States. Pretty strong, isn't it? Point blank, simple. Okay, James says Magic Johnson has interest also in the Lakers. He put them as AKA Lackers. I know absolutely nothing about baseball. Basketball. Either one, I'm not up to date on. They're overpaid, and well, y'all know the rest there. Hey, it's taken quite a few years. The Egyptians are opening up their big museum this weekend. 50,000 artifacts that have been found and dug up. It's a piece of history finally opening up for the public to go visit. I think you'll enjoy that. Hopefully they'll do a documentary on that we'll be able to watch from home. That'd be nice there. We'll save this to ask Julia on the show on this one here. Now, we're going to also talk about this later on, but there's been corruption across the United States, and we start out in South Carolina to where a sheriff is pleading guilty to stealing funds from the Benevolent Association. He's been arrested. He's fired. He will most likely go to jail on this. What was that we heard yesterday? Sirens? Oh, was that the FBI making its way to the Mississippi Delta? It was. We're going to get into this. 2 sheriffs arrested. Tons and tons of law enforcement agencies, from prisons to working for the sheriff's department, arrested in drugs, conspiracy, bribes. The list goes on and on. Sean Tyndall released a message yesterday of how disgusting it was for someone to do this. I think it happens more so than it has ever been recorded. These are the ones that have just been caught. Now, I'm not saying that every officer is guilty. I'm just saying I think there's more cases of this that have never had the flashlight put on it. Something to think on. We'll get deeper into that coming up this morning there. Has anybody had anything rounded? This is the first reports, and we knew it would happen eventually. Have you gone to a store and you have to pay $6.23? Have they rounded it down or gone up because, well, there's no pennies? There's a shortage now. They've quit making them. And that's what's having to happen. They're rationing them out at banks. I guess it would be pretty good to put some up if you can get a hold of the last pennies made, wouldn't it? Collector's items for later?
Oh, yeah.
I guess. I got a jug that's got pennies in it that I've been too lazy to count. I just don't see that being worth a whole lot there. But be on the lookout on that. Let's see here. JetBlue had to make an emergency landing. From Mexico to New Jersey is where they were heading. Altitude started dropping. They had to make an emergency landing. As we get into these things, there's 3 people involved in this in different cities of missing persons, cold case files. Eventually, things are uncovered. But in each one of these cases, they have finally solved the murderer who did it. The sad part is they've passed away, and they seem to have gotten away with it on this earth. 1962, a 9-year-old little girl was killed. She was raped in the basement of a church. It took all of this time to finally figure out who did it. October 22nd, 1962 is when that all happened there. Just sad there as we look at that. That was in Pennsylvania where that happened. They finally put 2 and 2 together. Found the guy. He's dead. We go to Rhode Island where they've solved 2 more cold case files. One girl, I believe she was 27, and the other was 24-year-old, and the other one was 49-year-old. All murdered. Horrible things done to them. And in both cases, the person who did it has passed away after they solved it. Rest in peace for them as we look at that. And my first thought was, well, why didn't you get out? I don't know all the details of this. They had a lot of rain in New York. They had 2 people die in New York that were in their basement, and floodwaters came in. They drowned in their own basement. Again, I don't know the details of why they couldn't get out. Kind of scary, is it not? Sean Puff Daddy. You going with a carton of smokes to go visit him?
Yeah.
He's been transferred to a New Jersey federal prison now. He's moving out of the small to a bigger prison there. Let's see. I don't know if this will happen or not. We'll go to our political analysts this morning when they come in. The filibuster. Could it be done away with? The way it sits now in Congress is you have to have a majority, 60 to pass something. Used to it was over 50. Could it be taken away and the shutdown ended? Trump says if the Republicans don't do away with it, when the Democrats do take back over the Senate or the House, they will do away with it to where they can control things. We'll see. Possibly. I've never been on a cruise, but I've heard often people tell you that it's a rush to get back to the boat. If you don't show up, the boat leaves without you. And I can smell this is going to go bad. I can hear it from here. This was a cruise trip. It was in Australia is where it happened there, and I was trying to find out which ship it was. I'll have to go back and find it. But an elderly lady was left on an Australian island, left behind. The boat left without her because she wasn't on it. They didn't wait to go find her, see what happened. She died on that remote island all by herself. Y'all know, the name of the place was Lizard Island off the coast of Queensland, Australia. And again, I don't know how that works. I've never been on a cruise. I don't know how much time they give you. But apparently, I don't know whether she went totally by herself out there. It sounds that way, and didn't get back in time.
Happens every day.
Happens every day. People get left.
Yeah. You go from 8 to 4, they tell you 10 times what times that ship's leaving.
What happens when somebody wanders off like that? Will this change policy?
No.
No. It's going to keep right on the way it is. Okay. Uh-oh. What happens when you're thrown out the family? Then they throw you out the house. Well, he's getting rid of his name. He's no longer a prince. Andrew is gone. His title has been taken away. His royal home is being stripped from him. He'll be moving very shortly. Boy, King Charles didn't take anything, did he? And that's the way it was. We've got a lot of headlines coming up. We'll get into the weather next here in just a moment. Get yours into us. We'd love to have you in on that this morning. We'll be right back.
Have a sleigh full of fun this season with gifts and accessories from Al's Garden and Gift. The spirit of Christmas shines at the Christmas shop with beautiful trees, snow globes, nativity sets, and more. Unique accessories, gourmet food, gift baskets, and gift certificates are perfect for parties and gifts. Santa's elves are preparing for an exciting shopping season. Al's Garden and Gift Christmas Open House is Saturday, November 1st. Charm and beauty await your home this wonderful season. Merry Christmas from Al's Garden and Gift.
On a hot day chasing crime in Meridian, to make a man thirsty, there's no better way than an ice-cold Coca-Cola to quench your thirst.
Or an ice-cold Diet Coke if you prefer that flavor.
No matter where you're at, stop by a local store and support that store and Meridian Coca-Cola. They're supporting us every day.
The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 19...
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Our record highs and lows, boy, 2016 has been in the news for a few days. It was 91 today. Back in 93, if y'all remember that, it was a cold day. 28. How old were you then, Julia? Am I getting a remark on that?
You better not turn to me.
I was just asking.
1.
How old you were back in 1993?
1.
2000, you said?
1.
Oh, 1.
1 year old.
She was 1 year old. Bless her heart. If y'all believe that, we've got... We'll let Greg determine that. Here's we go for our highs today. Look at this as we get near that Tennessee line. 63 at South Haven, Tunica area. That'll be pretty much the rule across the line there as we go south into Columbus. 65. Meridian should be nice. 67 for a high. That's kind of like the perfect weather, isn't it? As we go all the way to Gulfport, Mississippi Gulf Coast, not much different from Meridian all the way there. 67 to 68. We'll see that for most of the state. What is happening for trick-or-treaters tonight? Look at this. We're looking for a low of 40 So dress the kiddos accordingly, and it's pretty much that way all across the state. The highest we'll see is there at 46 at Tunica, but in the area of East Mississippi all the way to Vicksburg, we should see 40 to 43. Philadelphia even cooler now. Y'all see 38 tonight. Dress some babies warm with some flannel as they head out. As we get into Alabama, we'll see 67 today. Tuscaloosa rolls in at 67 also. Over in Auburn, 65, and it'll hold steady all the way through Birmingham, just like that. Now, this morning we do have patchy frost. If you're waking up in Philadelphia, you might want to go warm up that car, get that windshield cleared off, as well as Winston County, Kemper County, and all points northward on that eastern side of Mississippi. We should be pretty good here. There could be some patchy stuff here and there in Lauderdale County and southward, but for the most part, north of here, Philadelphia moving forward there. Still moderate here as we see 60-degree weather here. Warmer out to our west in California, Nevada, and those areas. Here's our 7-day outlook. 66 to 67 today and tomorrow. 0% chances of rain. As we move into Sunday, 64 for high, 66 on Monday. Then we'll get back into the 70s starting about Tuesday, warming up to 75 by Thursday. Let's go another week into this, all the way to November the 14th, and we'll see 75-degree weather, the highest that we will see, and then dropping back into the 60s about mid-month. Now, this can change a little bit, as it always does. We're screaming toward Thanksgiving, aren't we? That's going to be in the forecast before long at all there. Not any huge chances of rain. The biggest we'll have there is on the 11th, coming in at about a 34 to 35% chance of showers there. As we go to the best times to fish today, it looks like it's happening this morning around 7:24 through 9:24. You can drop by Clarkdale Superette. They'll say anything you need with fishing there. A minor time will be this afternoon, about 10 minutes after 2 till about 4:10 if you want to go fishing there. Sunrise hits at 7:11 a.m. Sunset will be at 6:04 this afternoon. Let's get in line with our deer hunting. If you're out there before long, we'll have gun season, won't we? The wind's going to be becoming northwest around 5 miles an hour in the afternoon. A lot better there. We've got an average day of hunting. It's not good nor bad. It's just kind of in the middle there. Major times to hunt today is 7:29 through 9:29 this morning. You'll have a second chance this afternoon around 2:40 through about 3:40. A good hour there in the afternoon. Again, sunrise hits at 7:11 and sunset at 6:04. Wimberley taxidermy there for you should you bump into something you like. Hang on the wall. Here's Melissa. She's still angry, but she's going down. Her temperature's cooling. She's a Cat 1 this morning, moving along at 90 miles an hour. Her pressure's at 973, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Now let's go take a look on radar as to what's going on with all this as we look. Give me a second to get back over here. I forgot to move radar. Here's radar this morning as we pull this up from Doc's Toyota. Here's the path that she's taken as she went across Jamaica and Cuba, and she's moving out and should decrease tomorrow morning about 7 o'clock down to a tropical storm again. But this morning she's going to hold steady throughout the day at a level 1. And as you'll see, this is going to move off to the east and not affect the United States whatsoever. It's going way away from us. As we zoom back in on Mississippi, absolutely nothing going on there. As we move across that Bama line, look at all this blue we've got over here. A frost advisory was issued for Alabama. Now, this does include Linden, Alabama, Demopolis, York, Livingston. All of these areas are including this. Now, Butler, y'all got off a little easier this morning. Nothing happened to y'all. This will go as far east, all the way to the Bama, into Georgia. Look at that. Up through the Carolinas, frost warnings. She's doing something to her hair. I see that.
He said, "Why are you still on the air?"
Oh, I'm running my mouth too much. That's what we've got showing up on this. We do have a lot of that frost up in Springfield, Illinois, Little Rock, Arkansas, even Oklahoma City. A lot of that going on. Otherwise, just a teeny bit of fog down here around Morgan City in Louisiana. That's a quick look at what's going on in the weather this morning. We'll have your forecast in just a moment as we move into the morning show. Y'all join us, won't you? Dorothy, good morning. I see Diana is on this. Yeah. Steve is up as well. We'll be right back as we'll kick off the morning show. It's Fun Friday. I hope you'll join us for the big show. It starts at 7 o'clock. We'll be here.